Well, the incident at Bankstown Hospital 4 years ago, where a little baby girl was left profoundly disabled and another baby was left dead after the oxygen outlets were mixed up in the theatre at Bankstown Hospital, has caused a huge amount of grief, not only for the families, but realistically for the New South Wales health system. I'm joined by Mark Buttigieg. He's the Labor MP in the upper house who is fighting to change the laws to ensure in New South Wales that medical gas installers are licensed, because, Mark, right now they don't need to be.
Not at all, Chris. I mean, we've got evidence out here today at Nepean Hospital where people are literally walking in off the street, unqualified, no trade, no experience, installing medical gas. I mean, not only have we had this tragedy at Bankstown Hospital and 4 years passed since, legislation in the Parliament ready to go this week, but on top of that, we've actually got evidence of this happening again and again and again. And it's not just Nepean. We've got evidence from the Plumbers Union. This is happening at hospitals right around New South Wales. The government needs to act now. It's not good enough to say we might fix it up in 6 months' time. Let's do it.
The government said that they'll do it via regulation rather than legislation. You've got a bill that'll be in Parliament on Wednesday. What's the difference?
The bill is robust. It institutes the same regulatory qualification and licensing requirements as the Victorian regimes and the Queensland regime, which was specifically legislated to stop the Bankstown Hospital problem happening in Queensland. What regulation might or might not do? I mean, you've got to remember, Chris, we haven't even seen the regulation yet. They're talking about a regulation. There's no bits of paper. Government hasn't reached out to us. And in 6 months' time, and inevitably what happens with these things is the minister of the day will give discretion to the head of a department to do a tick and flick approach, so that someone coming in off the street with a couple of months' experience, look, you look like you know what you're doing, tick, tick, tick. It's not good enough. It's got to be in law. It's got to be a Cert 3 qualification. Got to have 4 years' experience. That's what a trade is. This is a trade. It's not meant for people coming in off the street to do those things.
And that's the situation you've got here at Nepean. This is a $1 billion redevelopment of Nepean Hospital, one of the most critical hospitals in all of Sydney, really. And you've got a situation where medical gas is being piped into the theatres, and people who are installing it aren't qualified even as plumbers or electricians. They're qualified in nothing.
Exactly, Chris. I mean, we're talking about a country here. We consider ourselves to be a first world advanced country. We have a tragedy where a baby girl, Amelia's got permanent brain damage. Baby John died. 4 years passes, and we've still got the same root cause potentially happening on a daily basis. Opposition's introduced legislation into the Parliament. This is not about the Labor Party. It's not about the Liberal Party. It's not about the independents. It's about us legislating on behalf of the families and on behalf of future families who don't want to suffer the same fate. Let's just all get on board on a unity ticket and pass this.
It seems common sense.
It does, absolutely. And I think the people of New South Wales would demand this happening this week. It's got to happen. It goes through the upper house. We'll be debating it on Wednesday. On Thursday, it'll go into the lower house. We want to see the government get on board. Look, you know what, Chris? Government can take credit. I don't care. I just want it passed on behalf of those families. We need to move on from this and make sure that this is properly licensed and qualified so it doesn't happen again.
Thanks, Mark. We'll have all the details on this developing story in the news at 6 and the reaction from the Premier, Gladys Berejiklian.